I mean, whenever.
Whenever what?
We're recording.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
We're recording.
I was gonna get some more water, but
well,
I guess
too bad.
Okay, well,
I'll just give you some of mine.
No,
Phil. You can
no,
just
I don't.
pour it in.
No,
Just,
no, thank you. I don't like that. Hey guys.
Ugh. Hey guys.
We're the Chatmen. Hey, you might be noticing that my voice is a little bit more crisp than usual today. That's simply because I just happen to be here with Truman right now.
Two friends on a couch with a microphone balanced on some books.
And a laptop that's making the noise sounds.
Yeah, we got a wavelength over here, and we're actually peaking a lot.
Wow.
Let me just crank this down just a little bit.
Alright, well, that is some behind-the-scenes stuff for you today.
But, yeah, so we are in the same room.
I totally didn't get the chance to jive myself up for the opening, because I did not know we were recording just now. So, let me just do the little... fucking, it doesn't work now, Truman. You fucked this up.
I don't care. We're going.
You fucked this up. Okay, well, anyway.
We're doing it. It's happening right now.
Hey! There we go. That thing that I always do every episode. Anyway.
We're the Chatmen.
I'm Phil.
I'm Truman.
We're the Chatmen.
We are the Chatmen.
As we said.
But...
Best opening ever.
Best opening of the episode.
So, what are we going to talk about today, Truman?
We're just going to today talk about things that happened. Big news. We're not using Skype anymore, guys.
Well, I mean, unless there comes a time when I'm going to be overseas, in Iranistan.
Why? You just got to bring this stuff up.
What?
It's just secrets.
Yeah.
Phil's a hero.
I am a war hero.
But anyway, Phil is actually with me at my place, sitting on a couch, and we're recording.
Yes. I quit my job, pizza making.
Tell me about that. Tell me about the last day.
I had a last day at job work.
At job work.
Making pizza for the fellas, for the gentlemen that come in and ask
Pizza make.
That's my job.
Yeah.
That is a corporation. And I just about had it with all those 7 hours a week. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's not too far of a stretch.
Oh, yeah, I feel you.
And I was just like, you know what? I might as well just go 3 hours south of where I am currently. And now I am here with Truman, and we are doing the Chatmen, and I don't have a job yet. But I sent in a bunch of applications.
A bunch.
3, soon to be 4.
Yeah.
But they all said that they were hiring and in desperate need of people, so I am optimistic that at least one of these individuals will consider hiring me and giving me a call. If you're listening right now.
I doubt it. Except he put it all over his resume.
Oh yeah, I said I didn't say anything about the Chatmen. I didn't want to ruin my chances of getting a job.
So here's a question for you, Phil. Money is no option. You're going to get $100,000 a year, which is a lot, by the way. But it doesn't matter. That's what you get paid. What job are you doing? What's the dream job, Phil?
Retail.
Oh.
You talking about Okay, you're giving me a hypothetical scenario.
Yeah, you get to pick your job.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be the owner of the Chatmen, and you are going to be my little chore boy. My yeah. So anytime I need anything, you're gonna get it for me because I will pay you because I have all the money.
You're gonna have a large wooden desk.
Yes.
Made of oak. Something.
Made of mahogany oak, like a nice little crossbreed between those two specific types of wood that I don't know the difference of.
And you're gonna have one of those little Newton's Cradles toys on your desk.
I don't know what that is.
And you're gonna be smoking a big old cigar and have your feet up on the desk and be like,
probably
Reeves,
cough.
get in here.
Yeah. Well, no,
Get
I'll
in.
probably call you by first name. Yeah, I'll be like True Man
I'll be like,
or Taman.
yes, sir.
You know,
Yes.
Why don't you go into the fridge and get me another one of those
waters?
waters?
I'll get you one. But later.
Oh, okay. Well, take your time.
Okay.
I still have half a glass here, so that's fine.
You wanna know my dream job?
What is that?
Okay, so my job consists of you pay me, and I get on a Carnival cruise,
Oh yeah.
and I go on vacation.
Oh okay.
And then while I'm on vacation, I review the vacation, and then I let you know how the vacation was.
Oh, is that like a little role reversal thing where I have all your sound equipment and you use shitty Skype to talk to me?
I'm just a freelance vacation reviewer. You want to know what it's like to go to the Bahamas and play in the surf, get a little.
I don't know what the Bahamas are, but I think you're mispronouncing the Bahamas.
But anyway, I would just be like, here's my report on Hawaii. It was wonderful.
Hawaii.
Give me my paycheck now, and be like, oh, good.
It's Hawaii.
We're just waiting for you to
all.
come back. Dream job. That or mattress tester. I'd be okay with that. I just sleep on mattresses. Tell you how it was.
Oh, okay.
If I have a nightmare, it's a bad mattress.
Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
All mattresses suck unless they got a marshmallowy mattress pad like the one that I have. I don't even need a mattress. I just need that pad. I'm good. I'm just gonna roll it up, and when I get into my new apartment, it's not this apartment. I'm staying with Truman for a little bit, guys, and then I'm going into my own apartment where I'll be paying cheap rent because I'm sharing it with 3 other individuals who won't be named now. I think at least one of them will be a guestman at a future date, and you will know who he is. Probably the others. Not now, though. It's a surprise. He's a surprise to you guys. A future guestman. Who's it gonna be? Pick between these lists of people that we're not gonna list. I don't know where I was going with this, but I can just go in there and put down my mattress pad and go to sleep in that apartment, and my roommate's not gonna have a problem with it. That's it.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I sleep on a couch.
I'm excited. Yeah, he does sleep on the couch.
For reals.
When I took his last roommate's room for the summer, which is how long I'm staying here before I go to the other apartment, I just took I saw that mattress and I tried to lay down on it and I was like, this is not a mattress. This is more like a what's a pun with that's hard and sounds like mattress. A rock bed. Huh. How about that?
That's good enough.
Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah,
see,
put down my mattress pad. Went to sleep like a
little
baby.
view into my life. We had 2 beds. We lived in the old apartment. We had 2 beds. And my old bed ended up being the place where I pile all my laundry because I ended up sleeping on the couch every night because I like watching TV and falling asleep to the TV. Yeah. So we moved to the new place, and I was like, bed? I'll just rock the couch for a full year.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Yeah. And he does go to sleep with the TV on.
A lot.
And I don't, typically.
Yeah.
But, what you gonna say when somebody offers you hospitality, you don't complain to a large audience how obnoxious it might get.
You don't piss on hospitality.
That's right.
And that's from what? A movie.
I actually don't remember which movie it was.
That's from Troll 2.
We saw so many movies, Truman.
Here's what you guys thinking. Oh, the Chatmen, they're just turned into movie review channel. You're kind of right, because we watched a whole lot of movies.
And we like to judge things that we can't possibly do ourselves.
So, in the last 2 weeks, we've watched a lot of movies. We're going to just talk about them a little bit. We're not going to...
Just smidge.
It's
not that many movies. Yeah. It's only like 16.
But we're not going to devote a whole episode to one movie. We're just going to talk about the things we watched. Because why not?
Rapid fire reviews that might not actually be that rapid.
They'll be rapider than a full episode devoted to one.
Yeah.
So the first movie, Phil has seen it, but he didn't watch it with me.
I saw it like a long time ago. I was like 12 or something. So
here's the thing. My grandfather has a lot of clowns.
He has a lot of clowns.
A lot of clowns.
He has a whole room dedicated to nothing but clowns.
And a TV.
With clown...
it's got movies.
Yeah,
but anyway, as a
movies.
kid, I never had a problem with clowns. And there was one clown in particular that I remember everybody was afraid of. It's a little clown named Pennywise from Stephen King's It.
I wasn't even scared of that clown. Well, I mean, I was for a time, but it was before that movie that I was scared of clowns. This movie, though, was the one that scared everyone about clowns to begin with.
Yeah.
That and, what's his name? Gacy. I don't...
John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah. Let's not talk about him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Serial killers, no.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had never seen Stephen King's It. And I just, I was like, I want to see what all the hubbub was about. I've been using hubbub a lot. I gotta quit it. Let me tell you, I've been using hubbub a lot.
And let me tell you as well.
But anyway, I sat down with my sister and watched Stephen King's It. First of all, that movie's hilarious. Not scary at all.
Here's a pun. How was it? That's kind of a pun because it's a noun and both proper noun as well. So
okay. Well, anyway,
just take that home with you tonight, fellas, ladies and gentlemen.
The thing I didn't know about this movie is it was long enough that you have to flip the DVD over, much like an old vinyl record, which is weird. But we watched the first half, and then we flipped the disc over, watched the second half. Second half could have been left off, and I would have been probably more happy with the movie.
Just a second. This is a DVD, correct?
Yeah, it's a DVD.
Okay. How long is this movie?
It is. It's at least 3 hours.
Are there Lord of the Rings movies and at least one King Kong movie that you don't have to flip a disc
to
watch them?
This was an old disc.
Okay,
it's an older DVD.
So the older DVDs,
their compression wasn't as good as we can compress things a lot better nowadays.
I did not know that.
Anyway, it is 3 hours and 13 minutes, start to finish, and you could just not watch the second half and be completely okay.
Why is that?
Well, because I don't care about the grown-ups fighting Pennywise. Spoiler alert. We should probably say we're going to talk about a lot of movies. We're going to talk about plot of these movies. Spoilers ahead. Anyway, the clown comes.
This movie's 30 years old.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's not 30. It's 24.
Probably about 40.
24 years
20,
old.
40. Yes,
but
between those two numbers.
The first half of the movie is all these flashbacks of Pennywise the clown screwing with these kids and scaring the crap out of them, and then all the kids join together and they take down that clown, and then
I like that. Take down the clown.
Take down that clown.
That's a new band name. That's like anti-Juggalo. That'd be a good band.
But
kind of.
The end of the first half is we thought we killed him. He's back, and you could have just cut it off right there. Cliffhanger ending, it'd be fine.
Flip disc.
Pennywise was just a manifestation of the kid's fear. It's just a big evil spider.
Alien spider.
Is
not a clown at all. Is actually a spider.
Pennywise isn't even in the second half of the movie, and it's really sad.
Here's something that I remember distinctly as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, thank God he's not a clown anymore, so he's not scary anymore.
It was every time Pennywise is on screen, I was just chuckling.
He did freak me out. I was scared of clowns at that moment, but I think I watched it twice or something. I watched it once when I was younger and wasn't exposed to Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Brave Little Toaster, and I don't know what the other movie was that made me freak out about clowns. I don't remember. But I remember those two specifically made me freak out about clowns. And then I watched it since then, and he made me uneasy, but he didn't give me that sheer shock of terror that those two movies instilled in me about clowns. When he was no longer a clown, that movie was no longer scary, and I was thankful at that age. Now I would be like, oh man, clowns don't scare me anymore. They just make me uneasy, but that's it.
Tim Curry's a great actor. He did a great job playing this crazy clown. I wish there was more of him. I think if it was just the first half of the movie, it would be a higher rating. But right now, I've got it 3 out of 5, so 6 out of 10. I give it 6 stars.
And, well, Rotten Tomatoes is like 67%, so that's pretty much the same thing.
You have a rating, Phil, even though you haven't watched this movie in forever?
No, we'll go to the movies that I have watched, and that's every movie except for this one.
Okay, well, this has been very rapid. Let's move on to the next one. A little movie called Godzilla vs. Gigan.
Now, we were playing this, like, as soon as we got home from Godzilla 2014, which we decided was a 32 stars out of 40.
Yeah.
Real quick. So, this movie had about, just about as much, monster goodness. No. It had a little bit more monster fight scenes than Godzilla 2014 had.
Mm-hmm.
Because this one had Godzilla, had Anguirus, Gigan, and King Ghidorah. Google them if you don't know who they are, because we ain't got time for that crap.
Rapid fire.
Yeah, rapid fire in here. A lot of people, they didn't like the new Godzilla movie because it didn't have enough monsters. Every Godzilla movie, besides that one, that was the only one where it's been Godzilla versus 2 other, like, you know, no, that's not correct. In no movie has he fought 3 or more other monsters just by himself and won both times, besides this new movie that came out. Well, no. Never mind, I misworded that. Moving on. I'm just saying, this Godzilla vs. Gigan is a prime example that more monsters doesn't mean more fun. You gotta work on the character aspect. That's where Godzilla 2014 lacked, was because they, well, I mean, not too much, but a little bit, enough that when it didn't give you enough tension that when the monsters did show up, it wasn't as satisfying, thus creating the illusion that some people had that there wasn't enough monsters, it wasn't good enough. That was not... They had plenty of screen time, is all I'm saying, in comparison to all the other Godzilla movies I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot. I've seen all of them, as a matter of fact. That's 29 people. 29 Godzilla movies out of 30. I haven't seen the Smog Monster yet, which I ordered on DVD. We're going to watch that, Truman. We're going to watch Godzilla vs. Megalon with Jet Jaguar in it. And that's what Truman's excited about. Godzilla vs. Gigan. Godzilla vs. Gigan, on the other hand, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10.
Wow. That is a lot lower than I was going to give it. I was going to give Gigan himself probably a 7 or an 8 out of 10.
I will give Gigan the monster 10 out of 10. No, well, yeah, 10 out of 10. He's the best.
But the movie itself is probably a 5.
It was a 3. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
It kept my interest to the end, and it was okay.
The guy who made the cartoon, there were some funny moments. I'll switch it up to a 4 because of the funny bits. Plot was terrible, but there's one line that we got out of it that we just kept saying for the rest of the week. That is anytime anything happens, we call each other, you hard bitch.
You hard bitch.
And that's all we got out of the English dub out of that.
That was probably the most enjoyable moment of that movie.
Yep. So now we say it. So moving on, next one. This sure is rapid, Truman.
Yeah, it's faster than the last movie review we did, where we spent a whole week, 2 days actually. All right, Phil. So there was a movie that Phil had never seen. I had it on my shelf. I was like, man, Phil, I've been wanting to watch this movie for a while. And Phil said, yeah, plug it in. What was the movie, Phil?
Oh, well, it was nothing other than the guy who played as it, Pennywise the Clown, playing as a transvestite this time. It was the Rocker Core Picture Show.
That's what it wasn't, actually. It was the Rocky Horror Picture Show, starring Tim Curry.
Show.
It was Tim Curry's first movie role. First one he ever did.
This was before he became a clown. He was a transvestite first. That's completely normal, right?
But then he was a concierge in Home Alone 2.
Yeah. People like that tend to experiment a little bit in all sorts of different things, like a hotel manager.
Okay. So, Phil, there's 2 main aspects to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. There's the story and the music. So tell me what you thought of the story.
Well, the story is just fucking stupid. I didn't like it at all. Listen, so uptight family of pretty, I don't know,
Family.
Oh.
Brad and Janet get engaged.
Yeah, family, whatever. They're getting they're a married family of 2.
They're going to be married in the future.
They got married in the front of the movie.
No, that was another family.
Oh.
That was their friends getting married, and then afterward, Janet caught the
Okay.
Then
So
Brad
they're engaged.
proposed.
They're an engaged family of 2. How about that?
Sure.
Yeah, they're married in friendship.
Mm.
Yeah, so they're a family to each other.
Are you doing the whole plot of this whole movie?
Well, you told me to. So
No, I just said, what did you think of the plot?
Well, what I think of the plot, well, they just came into this guy's house after just stopping in the middle of the road, and then they just stick around for a little bit too long to see all the transvestites just having a grand time dancing and just doing all sorts of crazy things, and they see the main transvestite, and he takes them up the elevator, and
we see a Dr. Frankenstein style "Let's awake the monster" of Rocky.
and he's a homosexual man
He's
with
just chiseled,
with so many biceps just all over his body.
triceps, biceps, delts, quads, other muscles that I don't know off the top of my head.
You got your calf muscles, you got your ear
You
muscles,
got the squints,
the scowls,
the crapulums,
the ears. I
Yeah.
already said ear muscles.
ear muscles.
Well, yeah, all those delicious muscles that this guy is very fond of, and he says that after he brutally murders his last creation that nobody seemed to have a problem with.
Well, it was. So there's a guy busts out of the freezer. He's missing half his brain because it's inside the monster. The Dr. Frankenfurter had kidnapped a guy. He was a delivery boy.
This is the transvestite, by the way.
He kidnapped Eddie, put half his brain over into Rocky, and then just froze Eddie just to hide the evidence. Well, Eddie breaks out, kills Eddie.
He does kill Eddie. He takes a hatchet to him and just kills him dead. Just chops him to bits.
After a really good song with the saxophone.
And then everybody just starts having just violent sex with everybody.
Everybody.
And then they're in the dining room, and he's making him food and stuff, and he's just taking this carver to this big old piece of turkey like it's like
this wasn't a turkey.
Listen, I'm getting there, all right. Just carving it up like he's having just a grand old time on Thanksgiving evening, and then everybody's having a blast eating that stuff. Well, they're not really having a blast. It's kind of an awkward silence scene.
Rocky's the only one who actually eats any of them.
They all stuff their mouths a little bit before it's revealed that what they are actually eating is not, in fact, a turkey. It is, in fact, the man that he just chopped to bits earlier in the scene.
Eddie's corpse. They're getting rid of the evidence.
And although they didn't have a problem with him murdering the hatchet, they did seem to minorly be offended that he just fed them this without really, telling them. So they just spit out the food that they have. That is the extent of their reaction. It's not how could you do this? Da, 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 da. So I'm just gonna say this right now: the immersion in this movie not capture me as one of a good story telling. It was more like a shock value comedy that might appeal to people who have seen worse shit. But I mean, me on the other hand, having seen Ivankov from One Piece, who was based on this transvestite to begin with. I already accepted them as good people, because that character's a good person. He doesn't chop people up with an axe or anything. He just turns people to the opposite gender if he has a problem with them.
Yeah.
Let's not get into One Piece right now.
Pretty good show, though.
We could talk about that for ages.
We could do a One Piece special in the future, and it would be every episode.
We would...
Let's get back on track.
We'd have to be setting up for that for quite some time, though. Anyway, that's... Well, that happens, and... Then it turns out, surprise, all the transvestites are aliens. Well, maybe not all of them. Some of them are.
Yeah, they all are. They're from...
Oh, okay. So they weren't...
They're from the planet Transsexual.
See, this is how I thought it was going to be, was I thought that the people that they were bringing in, the people who were, the main characters of the married couple or whatever, the almost married couple, I thought they were bringing them in to transform them into the transvestites, which would make sense because it would be like, this is how all these people are here. But nope, it's just a random couple they decided to take in for no reason.
Yeah.
No reason at all. and I didn't understand why that was the case. So anyway, surprise! Aliens, Frankenfurter's dead, everyone's dead, and then they bring him back. Well, don't they? Wait.
No,
the dance sequence is before everyone's dead. All right.
Not everybody, just a lot of people.
Yeah, and then that's kind of the end.
Yep.
So
that's it. That's the story.
Yeah, I kind of forgot what I rated this on whatever, but I'm pretty sure I gave it a low rating.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the music, Phil. How'd you? You don't have to go song by song. Just what general? What did you think of?
Music was not as jumpy as I thought it was going to be.
I think it's some pretty jamming tunes in the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I think like one of the first ones was the only one that I really liked.
Sword of Damocles. It's a good one. The one that Meatloaf sings.
It might have been the very first one. I'm actually not sure.
You mean Brad and Janet?
No, it wasn't.
Damn It, Janet. That's a good song.
Actually, no, it was the one before that.
That's like the first song.
I thought that was the second one.
No, that's the first one.
Oh, maybe.
Damn It, Janet, I love you.
I guess I didn't like any of them. Here we go.
What's your rating?
4.
4.
Listen, here's my standards. 5 is an average movie. 6 is typically all right, okay, and 4 is like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's whatever to me. Like it's like what the fuck ever. I wouldn't say it's a must see like everybody else says. I think it's more valued in its shock value. But we see all that shocking stuff already, all the time nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's not so people currently. It wouldn't appeal to an audience that isn't unfamiliar with such cultural shifts like aliens and transvestites. This isn't new stuff to me. So when I saw that, it wasn't like, whoa, what is going on? Which it probably is for a lot of people. So,
yeah. Well, okay. So here, first of all, Rocky Horror Picture Show is a musical. First, it's a musical.
Right.
You don't go watch Oklahoma the musical for the dialogue between the songs. Give me some lines from Cats. You know any of the dialogue from Cats? No.
To be fair, I don't like either of those movies. So,
but story of this movie is not as important. It's supposed to be a really just like tongue-in-cheek.
If the story wasn't going to be important, I would hope that at least one of the songs was going to be stuck with me for me to be tapping my toes.
I've been singing Sword of Damocles for about 3 weeks now.
I don't know what that is.
It's a good song. It's Rocky's first song when he wakes up.
Okay.
But this movie, it's enjoyable. It's not for everyone. I'd probably give it a 7. I like it a lot. The music is jamming to me. I've got the whole album on my phone right now. I listened to it at work.
I think 7 would be the maximum rating that anybody should give this.
Yeah, it's not.
If somebody gave this an 8, which they did on Rotten Tomatoes, 78%, which is pretty much an 8. I don't understand that, man. I don't get that. I don't see how that could. But whatever, I mean, apparently it's made some waves. Everybody loves the fuck out of it.
It's a cult movie.
Yeah.
It's all about going to the theater and watching it and doing all the crazy shenanigans in your seats.
Is cult short for cultural? Like, is that like a cultural thing to like that movie? Because I didn't see it being a objectively good one. It just seems like I can understand that being just a thing that people like. It was just a tradition.
There's a whole community and tradition around the movie that they go.
Okay.
And they do it.
All right.
There's a small group of people who like it a lot.
Moving on.
7 from me. Okay, we're gonna go over now. Phil kept telling me about this movie, quoting it all the time, and I finally just said, you know what? I'll buy it. I work at a place that sells movies. I'll go take it off the shelf and I'll buy it.
Slammin' Salmon, and let me tell you. I think this movie is a guilty pleasure for me because when I check it out on Rotten Tomatoes and it has a 35%, I realize all the things that people negatively talk about it for are actually true. And those are things that I typically wouldn't like as well, but I guess the humor was such, how do I put this? In what ways does this movie justify itself with as far as comedy goes? Like, do you think that some of the comedy was good some was bad?
It was amusing, but there's not, like, any deep jokes. You're not supposed to think while you're laughing.
Right.
You're just supposed to laugh.
Right.
Which is good every so often. I enjoy movies like that. I watch all sorts of just garbage just because it makes me laugh. I don't want to think while I'm laughing.
Yeah, you watch Tim and Eric Awesome Show. Great job.
Like every day of my life.
Yes.
Trailer Park Boys, Reno 911, all that stuff. I don't want to think. I just want to laugh.
Yeah.
And this movie was pretty good about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I typically hate a lot of stuff like that. Like, I can watch a little bit of Trailer Park Boys before I've had enough. I can watch a little bit of Tim and Eric Awesome Show. Great job. But Truman just, oh my gosh, he just loves the fuck out of that show, so he just plays it over and over again.
Show.
I like the Steve Brule segments, but anyway, the Slammin' Salmon, I could watch that probably twice in a row, and I'd still like it, but I'd probably know more than that. I like the characters and all the character interaction in that show because there's just a diverse amount of just different people who are trying to get. I forgot what the plot was off the top of my head. Really, what was it?
They need money to pay the
Mr. Salmon, the once known Slammin' Salmon. He's a boxer.
Yeah.
He founded his new restaurant after he retired boxing, and he needs to pay the Yakuza 200 yen, or was it 2,000? It was 2,000 yen by the end of the day.
It was 20,000.
20,000 yen by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, everybody, he tells the manager to tell everybody to just do their best to sell as much stuff as they can and give them all the tips so that they can raise up that much money so that the main quote-unquote antagonist, who's kind of a likable antagonist, but he's still very much an antagonist, he's going to punch the fuck out of, the manager.
He's a world record boxer.
Yeah.
He's going to use his boxing skills if those bills aren't paid.
Correct. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to listen to this, don't. Plug your ears for 5 seconds. The end of the movie, it turns out that 20,000 yen, because he kept saying $20,000 throughout the movie, it's not the same thing. He actually owes them quite a bit less of the money than he needed to, so it turns out, he has more than enough money.
There was no conflict for the...
Right.
Nothing needed.
Right.
They were going to make that anyway.
So I like that twist at the end. Mm-hmm. Same thing, stupid. Yen is Japanese for dollars.
Okay, so here's what I thought, because I've only seen this movie once.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. While I was watching it, I was enjoying it, but I think quoting our favorite parts is actually more fun than watching the movie itself.
Yes.
Will Forte made an appearance. I get bonus points. But...
He's from Tim and Eric, guys.
He's from Saturday Night Live, if we're going to be...
He's also from Tim and Eric.
But, this movie's there's nothing that's going to stick with me in this movie besides quoting, half a dozen lines.
That sticks with you.
Between Phil. But I'm going to associate that more with sitting with Phil and watching this movie rather than the movie itself.
Yeah. I watched it separately from my work buddies, and we would quote it all the time as well. And that was the only reason I
bought this movie blindly. I had no clue what it was going in. I don't want my money back. I'm okay with having it on my shelf. Probably won't get played too often.
Right.
But I enjoy it. At least I enjoyed it the first time around.
Right.
Probably give it a 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd give it a 6 as well.
6.
Maybe a 5. But I really liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm going to give it a 6. Yeah. I'll give it a 6.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Or a 12 out of 20 if you're keeping track.
Going on.
All right. So we were talking about, oh man, this new X-Men movie. You want to go watch the new X-Men? I was like, go watch an X-Men. I own 4 X-Men movies. Phil's like, why? I've never seen them.
Well, we watched the Wolverine together, and I had no clue what was going on. A bit of it I could understand, but he just kept whining about this person named Jean Grey all the time. I was like, who's Jean Grey? I don't get this. I don't understand. Yeah. Well,
there's now 6 X-Men movies, and they all are canon to each other.
Right.
So there is an actual story that starts in the first one.
Right.
So Phil was like, I want to know
what he's bitching about all the time.
What all of this is. So we plugged in X-Men.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. I give it probably 7, maybe made an 8.
It's pretty good. It's not super good.
I don't think so. I'd say it's.
I
think it's pretty good. I wouldn't.
I agree with the internet that Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine is better in the later movies. He's kind of lackluster in the first one.
However, this did a very good job introducing all these characters.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad they didn't try that Man of Steel bullshit where they're just like, no, guys, for real, this can happen. And they didn't. And I said if they do that one time about these mutants, quote-unquote mutants, who have these superpowers just because of genetic anomalies that just happened around the world all of a sudden at one point in time. So if they just one time metaphorically turn to the camera and try to touch my hand with theirs, look me deep in the eyes and tell me this is a thing that can actually happen, I'm not going to give this movie's going to go down by some points. And they didn't do it. I was glad.
Mm-hmm. Basically, this isn't the best of all the X-Men movies that's come out. It's definitely not the worst, though. Putting it at a 6.
I'm going to put it as a 7. Because I thought it did a good job introducing me into the lore of the X-Men. I think it was just as good as X2, though. Which, holy shit.
I was going to do that one later. We can do it now, though. X2 was the next one we watched.
Geez.
X-Men United. X2 X-Men United, which is the second one, and in my opinion, probably the best X-Men movie so far.
Let me tell you something. I was just glad Nightcrawler was in it.
Oh my goodness. I love Nightcrawler, and I like Alan Cumming. So you got Alan Cumming playing Nightcrawler. Yes, that's good. That's a good thing.
It was pretty good. It was a good movie. I'd give it an 8.
Yeah.
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 It's probably 8. Sounds good.
Yeah.
You got some really cool things. The whole let's screw around inside Professor Xavier's head. That was really cool. I've always liked that.
Yeah.
Riker's a pretty likable villain.
Yeah.
8.
8.
8.
8 out of 10. That is a 4 out of 5, ladies and gentlemen.
Or a 16 out of 20.
Math. I can't do that.
Okay, so the one we skipped, I wasn't going to do X-Men and then X2 right in order. We skipped over one little movie called Godzilla versus Biolantini.
It's actually Biolante, Truman, if you're just going to, but they called him Biolanti in the movie with the English dub.
They also called it Godzilla.
Yeah, they also called him Godzilla because the fucking English dubs, they suck. Who calls him Godzilla in English?
Accidentally pocket dialed my dad.
Well,
I hung up on him.
Okay, good. I didn't know
so
if
I get a phone
I
call.
guess, man. Okay.
If I get a phone call,
Godzilla vs. Biolante was a good 7 out of 10, I would have to say. It looks like the audience rated it that as well. Critics haven't rated it. Really?
Yep.
So, 7 out of 10 sounds like a good thing. That's what the audience gave it, 72%. So
that's probably what I put it to. It's enjoyable.
There's some.
I didn't care about the whole ESP stuff. Whatever. That.
Fuck that
That's
noise.
Boring and stupid.
Stupid. Yeah. Oh, my sister is a part of.
We're gonna take a quick break.
Oh.
We're just gonna pause this right here. Okay, well, it kind of cut the steam off there.
Yeah, good job.
I did pocket dial my dad.
Yeah, good job.
By the way, I
good
pocket
job.
dialed my dad.
As I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, Godzilla vs. Biolante, there was a thing where there's this guy named I forgot his name actually. It was No, it's not Shinigami. That means it's
probably Teriyaki was his name.
Racist. Oh my!
I took Japanese.
It was correct. Shinigami. I don't fucking know. Anyway, we'll just call him Kurosawa for right now.
Mm-hmm.
He made a gene splicing. They first bring you into this movie Godzilla's terrorizing or whatever, and they get his cell, a big old chunk of his flesh or whatever. He mixes that in with a plant for food growth or whatever, for to make a genetically modified plant stuff so that he can make regenerating plants that just provide food for everyone. Yeah. So he's just since Godzilla's cells are constantly regenerating themselves, we could just do that.
Yeah.
And it will solve world hunger, peace for everyone. And something happens and his daughter dies. I don't remember how exactly, but he's just like, oh man, I miss my daughter. Here's a good idea. I'm just gonna, take these plant cells. I'm gonna take a little bit of Godzilla cells. I'm gonna put a little piece of my daughter in there as well, just to have her around. Have a little
snap.
Rose. Whoa! It turns out, since I guess what is it ESP that runs in the family? Was there more than two? I don't know. I
didn't pay attention to any
yeah.
of those
Anyway,
parts.
yeah, it was stupid. Her spirit takes control. No, it actually doesn't take control. I don't actually know what triggers the event for Biollante to happen, but Biollante is basically a big old Godzilla plant monster who just grows into a beautiful rose at first, and then when Godzilla does a little bit of attacking on her, the nice little gentle human part of her lessens even more so, and just the Godzilla side starts to really show, and just Vines is basically a big old nasty Venusaur with a big old chompy chomp jaw, a hyperdontia crocodile head.
It was so gross.
Yeah, it's pretty
All
gross.
those teeth, disgusting.
Just so many teeth, and vines with teeth on them, and just vines with just spears on the end of them, just stabbing Godzilla.
Acid breath.
Acid
or
breath.
Spit.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was
Except
very.
It was like,
unique.
oh, Godzilla's covered in acid. Oh, okay, well, that's not a thing anymore. Godzilla just shook it off. He was like, yeah.
Yeah,
just acid.
he just dipped down into the water, washed it off. Washed his face a little bit, scrubbed, a little scrub, and he's good to go. Yeah, it was a pretty good movie. I kind of liked it.
Yes, it was.
ESP person who kind of knew what was going on, who shows up in like every single 80s and 90s movie since then, to just kind of tell you what Godzilla's feeling at the moment. I thought it was just tacked on. If you wanna explain to the audience how Godzilla's feeling, how about you show a little bit of Godzilla's facial expressions? I don't fucking know. But if you need an origin story for your monsters, don't use your ESP chick. Discard that. Use some scientists who do a little bit of research on the subject instead of just, oh hey, I'm a psychic person. I know what's going on. That's it. That's all I gotta say about that. 7 out of 10.
So Godzilla movies, you got the story, you got how the monsters look, and you got the fights. And all three of those are better in Godzilla vs. Biollante than they were in Godzilla vs. Gigan. 7 out of 10.
Good. Moving on.
Moving right on.
So I saw Spider-Man on Netflix recently, right?
Hey, so did I.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, let's not talk about Spider-Man, because we're going to talk about an even better movie. Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2. I watched Spider-Man. I gave that an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Mainly because... Well, I'll just talk about Spider-Man even though you specifically told me not to. Because it is almost identical in the escalations and degradations of The Amazing Spider-Man. Except the ending... Like I watch both of those movies and I get the same feel from them, except for the very ending. In Spider-Man, he does not go with what's her face specifically to protect her.
Yeah.
Right. Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
Yes, and then in Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man,
the new one.
Yes,
the most recent series.
They really, really, really put emphasis on the fact that if he starts dating her, she's going to be put at risk.
Yeah.
And her dad, who's a cop, he makes that that's his dying wish that Spider-Man does not get with his daughter, because that will put her in harm's way, because he knows all the people that is after Spider-Man and stuff because of all the attentions that he's drawing to himself. At the very end of the movie, after you think he's going to make that choice, the same one that he made in Spider-Man, he's just like, I forget what his justification was. Like, I can't make this I can't try to make this my fault that he died or something like that. He's just like, I'm just gonna get with Gwen Stacy because that's what she wants. That's kind of what I want in the long run. I want her to be safe, but I also want to be her boyfriend, so whatever. And he gets with her. And so, any sort of a moral that you think they're really trying to take home with you since the beginning of the movie, just thrown out the window. Yeah. And in the next movie, she just dies fucking pointlessly. Just whatever.
See, the problem is she's gonna die. It's just
Yeah,
happen.
that's kind of how they said it at the end of Amazing Spider-Man. So I knocked that one down a point. That one's a 7. Spider-Man, though,
The old one.
yeah, you don't know that that's the decision that he's going to make, and then he just makes the better decision without you expecting it. And I was like, holy shit. More point to you. That's an 8. Spider-Man 2? Fucking 10, bro.
10? Wow.
Maybe a 9. Yeah, after you said wow, it's ruined my confidence.
Perfect movie.
No, it's not a perfect movie,
Yeah.
but it's a 9. I'll definitely give it a 9.
So I watched this movie a lot when it first came out, but that was like 10 years ago. So when I watched Spider-Man 2 for a second time, I really tried to see how did it age. You know, is the story still good to me now that I've got a little more experience and I'm not just a dumb little kid going, "Whoa, Spider-Man's cool. I like Spider-Man." So here's the thing. This movie's aged pretty well.
Yeah.
And now that I got some knowledge in how directing works and that kind of stuff, guy who directed Army of Darkness, which is a great movie, he did these Spider-Man movies. I can see it. I can see the same, his styles.
You know how we figured that out, though? Freaking Ash. What's his name? Ash Williams.
Yeah, I'm going to hate myself because I can't think of it.
I know his name. Bruce Campbell.
Brendan Fraser.
What? Whatever. Anyway.
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell showed up as, like, what was he, a butler or a waiter or something?
He was a usher at Mary Jane's play.
Was that him? I don't remember.
Yeah, it
really.
was. And Peter Parker comes in. He's like, "Oh man, just let me in." He's like, "Sorry, sir, the doors are closed. Can't let you in here."
Yeah, and
We
he's
were
just like, "Come on, please." And then he just points to the quiet. Film is in production, and then he goes, "Shh."
Yeah.
And we were like, "That's him. That's the guy."
Yeah.
He's awesome.
I think Spider-Man 2 made a really lovable villain. Dr. Octopus is a great villain.
I think you mean Dr. Puss.
Dr. Octopus is a really great villain. By the end, he doesn't die a villain. He steps up, saves the day himself, and you just like
Killed himself.
Good job.
Yeah.
You are gonna go just have a great, well, not a great afterlife because you probably hurt a lot of people, but you got a little bit of redemption there at the end. And special effects still held up. There's a couple times where the CG was a little dated,
But it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter
because you're caught up in the action, and you're caught up in the plot, the story of the thing. That it's not just like, whoa, look how flashy these graphics are. Hint, hint. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Hint, hint. They actually went through the trouble of making a very, very cohesive plot that you can follow, and when the action sequences happened, it was less, look how good these graphics are, oh my god, this is going to make some great video games, and more, oh my god, who's going to win, how's this going to play out, and that's just the secrets to making behind a good movie.
Spider-Man 2 has a really great story. It looks really good. It's a fun movie to watch. He's got some good little jokes in it, like Bruce Campbell, or when Aunt May hit Dr. Octopus with her umbrella. Made me laugh. Made a little chuckle. This movie's really good. I don't know. A 9 seems high to me, but I'm thinking maybe a 9. At least an 8. At least an 8. Hard 8. Soft 9, maybe.
I really think it's a 9.
It's a good movie. I'm
It
glad I
good
bought
movie.
it. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
glad I told you to buy it so we can watch it.
All right, so let's all have a flashback real quick. It's a while back, and the Chatmen are just a little baby.
We
podcast.
We are doing improv raps and horrible at it.
Well, I didn't really improv mine.
Yeah, you said you were going to, but you didn't.
And I said I'm gonna think about this. It was in the water under the bridge. Anyway, we looked at a bunch of new movies that were coming out. And we tried to just guess what they were about. But guess what? A lot of those movies are finally out where you can rent them. So I picked up one of them.
Yeah, this was when I was a nervous mess too, and I didn't know how to just make up plots in my head. So I was just kind of like going with what you said. I was scared.
So this is probably the newest movie we're going to talk about on this episode. Came out last year. It's Her. We talked about it on episode 1 of the Chatmen.
Please don't listen to it. It's a terrible episode.
You want some nostalgia flashback.
If you want to know where we came from.
If you want to cry.
Origin.
If you want to make us cry.
I'm going to say something right now. This is the second movie we've talked about that just has pronoun as the title of the movie.
It. Yeah.
And now her.
I really
Come on,
I
guys.
had to think about it.
Get with the pitches.
But anyway, we
Titles.
I rented Her. Phil and I watched it. First thing I'm gonna say, probably wasn't a great movie for me and Phil to watch together, sitting in a room together.
Yeah, it was very awkward for me to be with Truman watching it. I think if I watched it with, say, hell, just somebody.
My mom.
Yeah.
My grandma.
No.
The pastor.
A female probably would be a better company to watch this because you can,
If you're a beau to some lady and you're wooing her, you probably should pick this movie up and watch it with her. Because there's a lot of talk about relationships.
Sex.
A lot. There's a lot of it.
Yeah, some awkward stuff about sex.
It's weird. Everybody's sense of humor is just...
Strange. It's future.
It's in
the future where everybody is awkward as hell, and they're just desperate for relationships every which way. Anyway, I don't want to give this wrong vibe to this movie. It wasn't a bad movie.
I enjoyed the movie. I just kind of wish I would have rented it by myself and watched it alone.
Me too. I wish you watched it alone as well, so you could just tell me about it, and I'd be like, okay, and not watched it myself. Because I felt extremely sad by it.
Everybody I've talked to about this movie, they seem to not be as open-minded about the whole concept. I don't want to spoil this one as much because it's literally been out on DVD for a couple months. But guys falling in love with an artificially intelligent
if you think that's spoilers,
computer,
that's exactly what it tells you on the box.
But everybody who I work with and they talk about it, they're weird. They don't like it, and I didn't have any problem with that happening.
I didn't either.
I was actually more just like, I wish the AI.
I wish I had.
I want a best friend who just hangs out.
I want a girlfriend
and spies on my emails
not
and
me.
stuff.
Nope.
This movie visually is very warm. It's got a cool color palette. It's just really nice to look at.
It's actually got a warm color palette.
I said warm.
Yeah, I know, but you said it's got a cool color palette.
It's really cool.
That directly contradicts the first thing that you said.
It's neat.
There you go.
It is actually really neat. A lot of sharp lines and clean colors.
Clean alliteration.
Here's the other thing. I didn't even know Chris Pratt was in this movie, and I was very happy to see him in a movie.
Oh my god, who's that guy?
He's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy. He is Andy Dwyer on Parks and Rec. That's probably his most notable role at this moment.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
We watched one episode because I don't...
You put it on.
I wasn't going to make Phil watch that show because he really doesn't like that show.
What?
Or that style of show.
What style of show?
Parks and Rec, mockumentary, sitcom.
Oh, it's whatever.
So I decided to watch Tim and Eric Awesome Show instead.
Yeah, and Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I like a lot now.
It's a good show.
Yeah, it is.
It's a really good show.
I wasn't expecting it to be a good show. I
don't
typically like
Her,
sitcoms.
Phil, how did you describe this whole emotion thingy that you say? Like, it's good?
It's... Okay, listen, it's objectively a really good movie. How did I enjoy it? I didn't. I don't like that style of movie. Yeah. I don't like feeling sad. I don't like that, toy with the emotion stuff without any, happy, energetic, optimistic payoff at the end. Anything that doesn't have any, positive outlook.
It had a very subtle, optimistic attitude at the end.
Okay, yes, a little bit. It was very melancholy.
Yeah.
This just doesn't sit well with me. I am a wild train of happiness and excitement, and I just got, just little childish joys and things bubbling up inside of me when I got it, drumbled down with emotion and gloomy sadness, depression from relationship issues and stuff. It's something I enjoy very much. So, as far, let's see, scale 1 to 10, enjoyment of this, we got some points as to...
Is this your actual rating or just your enjoyment
No, this
rating?
is my enjoyment rating.
Okay.
My enjoyment rating would be like a 2 or a 3 or something, because those few points that I'm giving it would be ones that, now I've seen this movie, so if anybody has something about it, I can at least contribute to a little bit of that conversation or whatever. I liked the little bit of futuristic of it. It wasn't too far into the future. It was like 2040 or something.
It was a really close but really cool future.
Yeah, it wasn't that... It was close. It was not really close. Yeah. It was like, say, when I have grandchildren or something.
The only
if I
things
have
that set it
grandchildren.
like in the future is video games and the AI. That's
The city.
oh yeah.
They were like some really really crazy designed building. Not crazy, but they looked unusual, and there were a lot of glass and advertising, flashy stuff, whatever. Anyway, yeah, he plays video games with little childlike.
Oh my goodness, the video game. I was laughing. There's a character. It's a hilarious character. I'm not gonna spoil it. Just watch it.
Okay. Anyway,
It's good.
as far as enjoyment goes, very very low.
Mm-hmm.
This movie's quality, objectively, looking at this movie, how well it was composed, it's an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a 9. I don't fucking know. I probably took down a point because I didn't enjoy it that much. It's very well put together. I hated it. That's my review.
Yeah. See, I don't know if some of the way that I judge things is like whether or not I would be willing to pay for it and put it on my shelf of movies. I don't know about this one. Maybe if I watched it again, I would decide to pick it up. At this point in time,
If you had I know girls are into that creepy,
I've
sad shit.
I have a kind of diverse taste. I like some.
But I mean,
stuff.
if there was some girl who just wanted to be sad and cry on whatever, I'd just put that in and do my own thing.
Story wise, I didn't relate to it as much. My enjoyment level is just right in the middle of the road because I was invested in these characters, but at the same time,
I was here.
I couldn't. Yeah, and Phil was here.
Yeah, so you can just let yourself go and just whatever. And I was trying to make all the comments to kind of lighten the mood, but then there was a part where I just stopped because I just couldn't contribute anymore because it was just draining me.
But I think if I'm in the mood, I would really like to watch this movie again. I would have. It's one of those.
What mood?
I don't want to watch any high intense action. I just want to mellow out, chill, pop something on. This movie reminds me
spiral into aggressive depression.
But this movie looks fantastic. I love the visual aspect. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Now, if you want to subtract a point from how the main protagonist actually looks, because he's just.
No, he's disheveled. I enjoyed. I found
disheveled with a single mustache. He's not looking for a serious relationship.
How many people have more than one mustache, Phil? You can't call him out for having a single mustache. Do you have 2 mustaches, Phil? No, nobody does.
That's a very good point you just made.
I
redact.
1 out of 10 single mustache.
Listen, I redact my statement. You just floored me right there. I realized. Maybe there's more to this world than just judging people by their facial hair. But his mustache was fucking terrible. 1 out of 10.
I found the protagonist to be very endearing.
Well, but I give his facial hair.
I care about him.
Listen, I give his facial hair 1 star.
It's better than my facial hair, which is nothing.
Hey, at least you shaved it instead of trying to grow it out like a little weasel underneath.
If I try to grow it out,
nostrils.
Here's the thing, Phil. I've told this to people, and they're like, "Oh, you should just try growing it out." The longer I go without shaving, the more and more I fall into the neckbeard geek just look.
You look a lot better when you shave it. I will give you that.
If I went without shaving for 2 weeks and then bought a shirt with dragons and flames on it,
yeah,
nobody would bat an eye at that. That's what I would look like. So I gotta shave it off.
There you have it.
I gotta be clean.
Yeah.
Her, 8 out of 10. Okay, this next movie we're going to talk about is one of my favorite guilty pleasure / an actual favorite movie. If you guys, I don't know how much I've brought this up on the show, I enjoy movies starring a little man by the name of Nicolas Cage.
And if you don't know already, his Steam name happens to be Nicolas Cage the Cage.
It's Nick the Cage.
Excuse me.
But anyway,
I forgot the Nick.
I'm just going to get... Well, I was going to say I'm going to get a bunch of friend requests now, but I already get those anyway because I'm popular on the internet.
Yeah, because he has
I've got a rare
objects.
item on Team Fortress 2, and
everybody's like, "Whoa, can you give me that?"
Anyway, imagine that Nicolas Cage is an actual crazy person and then imagine that they hire that crazy person to play a crazy person in a movie. That's Vampire's Kiss. It's about a man who goes insane and thinks he's turning into a vampire.
That's it.
That's the movie.
He tries to get another person to kill him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to live as a vampire, even though he's not actually a vampire.
So he tries to make her.
He tries to make a lady who works at his office, one of his subordinates, he tries to get her so mad at him that she will kill him out of rage and fear, and this movie is just full of chuckles. Just full of laughs.
Just full of grins.
You like every line in this movie you could just quote, and it would be the funniest ever.
Yeah, maybe. Not every quote, every
line.
Even the ones Alva makes?
Alva. Okay, everything Nicolas Cage says.
There you have it. There you have it.
It's perfect.
Now, as far as, that versus Slammin' Salmon, as far as quoting goes, I think we make a little bit more quotes on the Salmon Slammin'. Slammin' Salmon.
It's fresh in our heads.
And, no, we watched this one
I've watched this movie
but
a long time ago.
Yeah, but we also watched it, the other day after we watched Slammin' Salmon. But I'm just saying, that one has every character quotes. Mm-hmm. This one, just Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
As far as
the movie is Nicolas Cage.
But
oh my goodness, that was loud.
Sorry, we peaked the audio there.
Probably. I'll just check. Yeah.
Yep, there we go.
Look at them big old blue blocks.
Yep.
Anyway.
Vampire's Kiss, though, I mean, that has, internet, sensation. Everybody loves, at least 3 scenes from that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And made a meme out of one of them.
Yeah. You don't say face.
Yeah, it was...
Is Nicolas Cage staring down
Everyone
Alva.
here has been working here longer than you, Alva. Everyone. And even if there was one person that...
worked here even one day more than you,
I still wouldn't make that person do the job, such a miserable job as long as you were around. And then, and you have to do it. You have to. You have to, or I'll fire you. Do you understand? Just the way he says that's the best.
This
face.
Vampire's Kiss, I enjoyed a lot, and every opportunity I can, I try to get somebody who's never seen it to watch it. Not because I think that they're going to fall in love with it the way I did and love it to pieces, but I just want everybody to just... I just want
Nicolas Cage.
I want to share the love.
Just see how good of an actor Nicolas Cage is.
And if you watch it once and you say, it's not my cup of tea, you're a little wrong, but I will accept that fact.
That you watched it.
Yeah. And then I will be a little happier. I can sleep tonight because knowing you finally... I made a bus of 35 people watch this movie.
And nobody liked it.
Actually, a lot of people liked it.
Okay.
After they got in, they realized it's not a horror movie. It is a comedy.
Okay.
Then we actually liked it.
I was thinking of Trolls 2.
No, Troll 2 is a tradition now on our buses.
Okay,
You're
so what was it?
UHF starring Weird Al Yankovic.
Okay, yeah.
Good movie. I like that movie.
I don't know how good that one actually is. I don't remember.
Vampire's Kiss. It's a good movie. Anytime you're like, hey, you want to watch Vampire's Kiss? I'll say yes. I like it a lot. I'm not going to be objective on this because I just like it that much. 9 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
If you were actually taking the story as the actual story and being very objective, it wouldn't be a 9. I'm giving it a 9 because I like it.
Me being objective.
A lot.
Me being objective, it's a 5. Guys, it's a 5.
Nicolas Cage.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't watch it. I'd always say that, if you have time, it would be at a 3 that you should not watch a movie. Because, 5 is average, 4 is whatever. Do whatever you want. And then 3 is, that's when your movie's it's bad. So, and then, then 2 would be terrible, and then 1 would be, this should not exist.
Mm-hmm.
Get this out. And then 0s, man, I haven't even came across a 0 yet. I don't fucking know what a 0 would entail. But, I'm sure 1 will happen one day. Maybe 1 has. I feel like I don't know. Maybe Thor. Not sure yet.
Thor's not a 1.
It's a 3.
Thor's like a 6.
It's a 3. It's such a 3. Thor. No, it's a 2 actually. Thor: The Dark World was a 3 for me. I hated those fucking pieces of garbage. I don't know why everybody likes them so much, and I don't know why the Avengers movie is so reliant on that or at least the first one was reliant on that garbage. Whatever. Anyway, I will continue with my review. Vampire's Kiss 5. It's average. You can watch it if you want. It's completely neutral. You can watch it,
but you should check it out.
You should check it out.
If it's on Netflix, watch it as soon as you can.
Objectively, as a movie, it's whatever. But no, it's not whatever. It's average. It's above a whatever. Whatever has a negative connotation. 5 is like fucking. You are just as good watching it as you are not watching it. As far as enjoying, I fucking know. My rating makes sense in some crazy fashion. I got it worked out.
If you got the time, invite some friends over, sit down, have a good time watching a movie. That's it. Just have a good time. 9 hours.
Whether you want to or not.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna move on.
It's average. Might as well enjoy yourself.
So Phil and I were talking about time travel, and I have a favorite time travel movie, and then Phil had a time travel movie, so we watched 2 movies about time travel.
Right.
So here's what I think we're going to do. We're going to talk about one time travel movie, and then we'll take an actual break, not a, oh, my dad's calling me.
Yeah. Whatever those things are.
So we're gonna talk about one time travel movie. We'll take an intermission, then we'll talk about another time travel
movie.
Jeff Goldblum movie.
Good job.
I was just doing a lot of uhs. I was channeling Mr. Goldblum.
All right, let's get to this movie then.
First, the movie that I just rant and rave about. I love this movie a lot, maybe more than Vampire's Kiss.
You should like it more than Vampire's Kiss, because this was actually a really good movie.
It's a little movie from 1985 called Back to the Future, starring.
Perhaps you've heard of it.
Starring Christopher Lloyd. Teen Wolf is in it. Crispin Glover is in it.
I don't know any of those names.
I don't know how you don't know who Christopher Lloyd is, Phil.
Listen.
Michael J. Fox is who I was trying to think of.
I don't know who Michael J. Fox is. I know that name. I've heard it everywhere. I've laughed at references of Fox's name, Michael J.
Mm-hmm.
Michael J. Fox? I don't know. I don't know who that is.
It's Back to the Future.
But I guess his main character, right?
Yes.
Kid. Okay.
Plays Marty McFly. If you guys are just like, what is this movie? What is Back to the Future? Where have you been?
Well,
this
the
movie
future,
is like
obviously.
or maybe the past, and then you get back to the future
before the movie came out, right?
But this movie, I don't know what to really say. I don't know what I'm gonna say about it because it's such a classic sci-fi movie.
Right. I saw like one clip of that movie when I was little, and I recognized it. The "make like a tree and get out of here" line.
Yeah,
that
Biff.
Everybody knows about.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was from this movie.
Yeah. So I'm gonna turn this over to Phil. Tell me about it, Phil.
I really liked, in a lot of time travel movies, normally, Futurama, for example, some other things, whenever they do time travel movies, it's always, if you go back in time, you change the history of the present, rather than that being how things played out to begin with, because it is the past that you're going to, not just, like, an alternate dimension. You're going to your actual past. So what you do changes the events to how it actually was when you were there to begin with in the present. You know what I'm saying? You know what you following?
I'm sure.
Okay, perhaps.
I don't want to get this.
If you go to the past,
real quick, Phil.
Right.
Let's not do like
this isn't going to be long.
20-minute tangent on time travel.
We're not no tangents, right?
Okay.
That's the whole point. But if you go to the past, obviously what you do in the past is going to influence what happens in the future. Don't say I'm just going
to stay out of this because we have the polar.
Good.
We have different
ideas. Listen, this movie goes by the idea that I like the most, because when you go back into the past and things are, just changed to how they were in the present, I like that because that, this shows some ingenuity, maybe that's not the word I'm looking for. There's more creativity involved when making things. What's the word I'm looking for here? It makes the story more cohesive and sensical.
See this?
Than just things are different now.
I'm gonna point out something. Back to the Future has those moments, but it also has the opposite. Like Twin Pines Mall gets turned into Lone Pine Mall after Marty goes back.
Okay, I did not know that.
But there's also like the mayor, when in 1985, Back to the Future time period, the mayor, you think Marty influenced him becoming the mayor when he goes back to the 50s. So that could be a thing that it already happened because it's going to happen, and that's why it happened.
Oh.
So they've got both.
Okay.
Both.
So I don't know. I just liked the fact that he goes back in the past and then realizes that the reason why he's named who he is because he was named after himself going into the past and meeting his parents. I thought that was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Rather than, just changing history altogether, but I guess that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah.
But whatever, anyway, I thought that was very creative, the way that they put that together. I gave it a 10 out of 10. It's a really good movie. It has really good humor.
It's
I
a really
laughed.
good movie.
Like, twice, but...
Yeah. There are 3 Back to the Future movies. If you're going to watch one, watch the first one, which is obvious, but the other 2 are good.
They're very dependent on the first one?
They're good, but Back to the Future wasn't meant to have sequels. And it reflects that in the later movies where things just seemed a little contrived and unnecessary. But they're all good movies. They're all at least 8s. But Back to the Future 1, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, we're going to take a little bit of an intermission. And this is when we stop talking for a second. We grab ourselves a glass of nice cold water. We use the restroom, which I really have to do right now. We'll just come back in about 5 seconds, So, be right back. Oh, welcome back, everybody.
We're back.
Next movie that we're going to be reviewing, little not named by the name of Donnie Darko.
See, we were watching Back to the Future, and Phil's like, I got a movie about time travel that we should watch, and it's on Netflix.
Turns out there were a lot of Back to the Future references about it that I didn't pick up when I watched it the first time.
So we watched Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
And I had never seen it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say it right now. We've been playing a lot of Minecraft in this apartment recently, and we were playing Minecraft while we were watching this movie, so I wasn't paying as much attention to this one.
Right.
But
this is one of those really detail-heavy movies.
You gotta pay attention to this movie.
Yeah.
The other thing, I didn't even know this movie was about time travel. I thought it was like a horror movie or something.
No, it was not a horror movie. It's just a twisted,
I'm just saying, from my perspective, seeing the bunny mask, all that, I was like, oh, it's a dark, scary horror movie. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
It's not.
So how would you describe your realization?
Pleasantly surprised.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Like that. It's pretty neat. Talking about time travel and stuff.
Yeah. And it wasn't, the movie does not go back in time itself. It shows an object that shows up in the beginning of the film that transports to the past at the end of the film. And they kind of do a little rewind once. And that's it. I'm trying not to spoil anything. Yeah. This is a good movie. You don't want to spoil.
It's a pretty good
movie. Anyway, I know the director's cut is a little bit better than the version that we watched, since this cut out like a shit ton of really important stuff, apparently. Mm-hmm. Because the difference is, on Rotten Tomatoes, Donnie Darko director's cut is like 90-something%, 91 or something. And then Donnie Darko itself is 85%. Which, I've seen the clips that they cut out on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think they were really, really good clips that I don't understand why they cut those ones out.
It's probably just time constraints and stuff.
I guess.
Fit it for a theatrical release.
I guess. Anyway, but this version I would get a 9 out of 10, so I'm guessing perhaps the director's cut version, since they brought that up a whole 10%, I guess. I might give that one a 10 out of 10, but I hadn't watched it yet, so I'm not going to rate that one.
Yeah.
This one, 9 out of 10, 1 point less than Back to the Future. time travel thing was a little bit strange,
Yeah.
but I mean, they had the whole like it had like a weird theme of time. Since time is predetermined, nothing has free will. And it's creepy because the only guy who's aware of that is a schizophrenic, paranoid, crazy man.
Schizophrenic Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal.
October Sky.
Yeah, crazy hair, greasy hair. Who sees, a creature from the future who turns out to be a guy that he kills at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert! On accident. No, he totally doesn't kill him on accident. But, that's how that movie goes.
And then, okay, so once I knew this movie was about time travel, and Phil was talking about how the story is a big circle, I expected it to, like, repeat. Phil kept saying it was like Majora's Mask, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, where things repeat. So I thought there was
I did specifically tell you that it was not Groundhog's Day, though, because it had one cycle.
Well, I expected it to be... I guess I didn't hear the one cycle thing. I expected there to be more iterations of the loop.
That's what I expected, too, when I first watched the movie.
But I don't think it needs it.
No, it does not. They do one loop around, and then they show you the beginning one more time without... one of our main important characters, who is the only one... I'm just going to say it. Donnie Darko dies at the end of the first cycle to allow time to continue on, because that was something that was supposed to happen. And he gets over his fear of dying alone, which somehow his mental problems, his psychological problems, allow him to subconsciously understand what's supposed to happen in time, and he sleepwalks, and he avoids getting crushed by a
jet engine.
A jet engine that falls randomly from the sky and crushes his house.
Yes.
Because he sleptwalked that night, somehow knowing that was going to happen, that causes the time loop, which triggers a chain of events in which the he does like 3 things that the guy that he kills tells him to do over the night. He floods the school, which makes class go out or something one night, and then the guy, one guy who's a speaker at the school gets delayed or something, and then when he he knows the guy who's speaking in the school or whatever, finds out where he lives, burns his house down. The guy who he sees, this is a whole spoiler section, by the way. If you want to watch this movie, you better watch it right now. Pause this video or skip to, 5-10 minutes in. But he burns the guy's house down. He
outs a child molester.
Yeah, it turns out when people are putting out the fires, they find his stash of child...
A kiddie porn dungeon.
That's what they say, quote by quote. And because he owned a dance team of small children...
He coached a dance team,
excuse me.
He didn't own it.
Yeah, that's a little bit...
I own these kids.
Yeah, I own them. The other parents who were very supportive of that, they're just like... Oh my goodness, how could everybody make all these allegations towards this man? By the way, we still need to make this go on. So, they take the plane, they take a plane to Los Angeles or whatever.
We're already going to a big national competition. We can't let the kids down at this point, so we gotta go anyway.
Right.
So they get on a plane.
And somehow...
Plane engine falls off.
The plane engine falls off, goes back in time. No, excuse me. Plane engine falls off. Yeah, it does go back in time, and it crushes the house at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
That Donnie Darko narrowly avoided. At the end of the movie, after everything resets, he accepts. He somehow takes with him the acceptance of dying alone.
Yeah.
Which is very dark. Hence the name Donnie Darko.
I get it.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's the reason. Maybe. Anyway, he goes to sleep, gets crushed by the engine, stops the time loop from happening, time goes on as normal. They show the family just grieving because of his death, and you just kind of deal with it. Yeah. It's just, there you have it.
So what's your rating?
9 out of 10.
9. Okay, so here's the thing. I've watched this movie once. I was also I was watching it and doing other things. We had also watched it right after Back to the Future.
Right.
All of those things combined, plus it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. The atmosphere was cool and eerie.
Yeah.
But I would it's more like I'd have to be in the mood to watch Donnie Darko. I can't just plug it and enjoy it.
Right.
7 out of 10.
Okay. I think it's so close to a 10 though. Fairly certain that if it had those scenes that I was interested in, like I saw those scenes before I watched the movie, and when they weren't in it, I was kind of disappointed because they were really good scenes that I talked out that they cut out. Pretty certain I'd give it a 10 if I watched the director's cut. I think I'll get that one on DVD sometime.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, the next movie, this one's going to be hard to talk about because the story is so
fucking crazy.
You got to watch this movie like 2 or 3 times.
Speaking of dark atmospheres, this takes place in the post-apocalyptic Japan.
30 years after World War III. I had to watch this movie twice and then look up the Wikipedia synopsis, and I'm still kind of confused on what happens at the end of this movie. But I like it. I like it a lot. The movie is the 1988 anime classic, Akira.
Yeah.
I had heard all about Akira.
It's got some pretty good ratings.
It does. Let's see, like Harry Partridge on YouTube.
Yeah.
He made a cartoon about Akira. People talk about it.
Yeah, everybody knows who he is.
Finally, Toonami played it on Adult Swim, and I watched it, and I was like, oh my god, why have I never seen this movie before? I really liked it. I went and bought it like the next day from work.
Yeah, I have no idea. Was I like sleep deprived when I was watching that, or was I just really confused?
Both.
Okay.
Like as soon as this movie was over, you're like, I'm taking a nap.
Oh, that's right. That is what happened. All right. Yeah.
This movie is about psychic powers and testing on children and
the
World
Big Bang.
War,
what the fuck was that about?
The creation of the universe. There's just some heavy stuff, and there's some gore in it.
Listen, the creation of the universe is in every single
living the energy to create the universe is within us all.
And I guess
it's a latent power that is just somewhere in our code, and some people have the power to access it. But if you access it, you get that rush of, oh my goodness, I can do anything, and you can lose control. And then, oh god, you get to turn into a giant blob monster. And
kill everyone. I don't remember how he died.
Even if your best friend, I
don't remember how they stopped him.
Because Akira just rose out of all the parts and pulled all the kids in, and then they blinked out of existence.
Oh, well, that totally just... There you have it, folks.
I guess at the end of this movie, Tetsuo, who is killing everybody, him and Akira and the 3 psychic kids.
The Akira is the latent power, by the way. That's
it manifests itself into what it originally was the first time, 30 years ago, and they just pull them all into singularity, and they disappear.
Why? I don't know.
They talk on the plot synopsis once again.
Truman trusts that this movie explains thoroughly why this stuff happens.
Every time I watch it, I notice things that actually help tell the story. It's still really just convoluted and just little bits and pieces, just littered, hidden.
Now, although that might be, clever in some mind's eye, I do not feel like convoluted is necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a very, very crazy intertwined series, you have to, if you want to make that commitment, you have to also be willing to explain it easily. Yeah. What was it? Einstein quote? Let's bring out the Einstein quote here, because this is about
Einstein.
It was if you can't explain it,
then you might drive your motorcycle with a laser cannon and shoot your best friend right in the heart.
If you can't explain it clearly, you don't understand the material well enough, I guess. So I mean, in some bastardization of that quote, I can say, if they can't explain their plot just clearly and concisely, so that when I watch this in one viewing, I know what the fuck's going on, or at least 2 viewings.
Yeah.
They don't need to be meddling with that kind of crazy shit.
Yeah.
But they could have.
I mean,
they could have taken out a few plot points or whatever, and it would have been fine.
I hate saying this, but you Japan just writing crazy things, and you just expect us to grasp right off the bat.
Maybe they weren't making it for us Americans.
What you doing? Yeah, they obviously weren't, because this is a Japanese movie. This is like the first worldly popular anime movie.
Yeah, when like Americans watch that and they're just like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm posting it.
This movie is...
This deep.
I enjoy watching this movie. It'd be nice if I knew what was going on better. I've heard a lot of people on the internet talk about like, oh, I watched this movie a lot as a kid. What are you doing watching this movie as a kid? It's not a kid's movie. It's animated, but it's definitely not a kid's movie. Far from it.
You know, whatever.
I liked it.
If you watch it as a kid, you were a hardcore child. And I swear, if I watched that as a kid, I'd be like,
And Phil was a pretty messed up kid.
You know, in some ways, yeah.
And still. But anyway.
I watched, Brave Little Toaster does some shit to you, man. Mm-hmm. That gives you nightmares, something awful.
If this movie was a little better about telling you plot, understandably, it would be a 10 out of 10. But it doesn't. So it's an 8 from me. I still really like it.
That is a stretch for the most. That is like reaching for the stars there with your rating.
I really.
But the art style. You kind of glossed over the art style.
I like the art style.
Fucking let me tell you something about that art style. It is fantastic. So I mean.
Yeah.
So
I just want like
that gives it most its points.
If
the fact that like everything was drawn like. Hand drawn. It was very detailed.
If I could take the actors out and just have the oil painted backdrops, I would frame those and put them on my wall.
I would get a wallpaper for my house.
This movie is beautiful and crazy, but it's beautiful. It's a really cool movie to look at. That style of animation is not really a thing anymore.
Yeah,
that's sad.
Yeah. So yeah, since you did not, I think that was its strongest point.
Yeah,
was the animation and the backdrops and the
just
all that stuff.
The detail and
besides the neon blood, the fact that all blood was one shade of red.
Yeah, it's a style choice.
Whether it's in the dark or in the light,
they also had Tron lights on their bikes. That's not a real thing. It's all style.
Yeah, that's light,
it's
though.
The art style.
Yeah,
they took a stylized approach to blood.
That's fine.
And they made it crazy bright and jarring.
Yeah, except for when it's in the light, then it's like super dark for some reason. Like it's just one shade of red for all the blood.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay,
I like
fine.
neon.
Yeah, whatever.
Stylized blood. But anyway, Phil, what was your rating? Did you give a rating?
No, I did not.
What's your rating?
Fuck. Since there's so much that I hated. Well, I didn't hate it really. I thought there's so much that I think could have been done better. I think there's a lot of useless stuff that they just crammed in there just for, oh wow, this is crazy stuff that we're doing, and without really expanding on it that much or explaining. I give this movie a goodness gracious, just a 6.
For coming from Phil, I'll accept a 6.
Yeah, I
sleep deprived watching this movie once and just be like, what
I gave it another point, excuse me,
yeah, for
benefit of the fact that I probably wasn't getting as much as I could have been since I was sleeping. I was going to give it an average, but this is not a movie that could just be rated as average.
No, it's definitely above average.
So yeah, I gave it a 5. Man, that's... What else have I given a 6? I gave The Amazing Spider-Man a 7. I think Akira should be a 7. Okay. I don't want to give it a 6 after Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, so we'll just give it a 7 and I'll watch it again. I'll see later. Probably not watch it again.
I'd have to be in the mood to watch.
Yeah, not anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a
one day,
once every 6 months at most movie.
Yeah,
you gotta just sit down.
Pretty long, yeah.
All right. I don't even know why we're gonna review this next movie because it's a perfect movie, and I just plugged it because I just wanted to watch something while we played more Minecraft.
Right.
We watched Toy Story for probably the millionth time I've ever seen Toy Story. I was I was seeing it in my eyes, my mind's eye. I didn't even look at the screen, and I was watching the movie because I know it that well.
Yeah.
I don't know what there is to say about Toy Story. It's a perfect movie. Yeah. Everybody should own it.
Right.
If your kids aren't watching Toy Story, if you're not watching Toy Story, if you don't sit down at family functions to watch Toy Story, you're wrong. It's a good movie. 10 out of... No, I'm giving it a 100 out of 10. Best movie, number one movie. If I had to watch one movie for the rest of my life, it'd be Toy Story.
I saw Toy Story as a kid.
Me too.
I kind of forgot that. I didn't even know as a kid that Woody starts out as such a dick.
He is kind of a jerk.
I did not know that Woody was just a piece of trash.
He isn't in the other ones, though.
Well, I know.
He learns his lesson.
Because by the end of this movie,
his character has developed and grown.
Yeah.
What?
This kind of setting up Toy Story 2 for probably not as
Toy
great.
Story. Okay, much like we're gonna go back to the Future real quick.
Back to the Future.
Much like much like Back to the Future, the first one's the best. The third one is a close second best, and then the middle one isn't as good as the other two. And that's what Toy Story is.
Yeah.
Toy Story 1, 100 out of 100. Toy Story 3, like a 97. Toy Story 2, like a 90, 89, somewhere there.
85, 80.
No, it's about an 89, 90. Still a good movie. I still really like Toy Story 2.
See, I don't remember Toy Story 2 that well.
I got fond memories of Toy Story 2.
I remember Toy Story was good. It was awesome. Well, when I was little, it wasn't awesome. It was good. Toy Story 2 was, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, I rewatched it. Toy Story is amazingly...
Toy Story is...
flawless.
Is 19, 20 years old. It was the first full-length animated, or CG animated movie. You can't even tell. It looks better than some stuff that gets pumped out nowadays.
Yeah,
it's
like
a good-looking movie.
Like Food Fight. Hey, Hayden, where's our review?
Yeah, didn't get it.
Yeah.
Didn't get it.
Did you check it?
I checked the email.
Oh.
Didn't get it.
Oh, my gosh. What a liar. He told us specifically on the last episode that he was going to do a review of it. Oh, well.
Anyway, Toy Story, good movie. 10 out of 10. 100 out of 10. Actually, got to stick 1,000 out of 10.
It's got a 10 out of 10, folks.
It on Rotten Tomatoes, it has 100%.
And on
100. That means every critic said it was perfect.
No. Well, they round.
Yeah, they do round. A very large majority said that it was a very, 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 very good movie.
Right. If there's 1,000 critics out there,
then 999 of them said it was great.
Yeah. 995.
Also,
at least.
It's got a great cast. I don't know how they got so many people to gamble on the first CG movie. They've got
it was 990. I did math wrong. Oh, go on. Oh, no, it was 995 because of rounding. Okay, go on. Sorry.
I know we've been doing hand animation for forever, and everybody loves it. But we got this cool idea. We're going to make the computer do it, and we're just going to gamble and hope that it's really good. And yet they still managed to get an amazing cast of people. There's stars in this movie. So many stars. You got Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Don Rickles, Jim Varney.
Rigel. Soul.
That's good joke.
Yeah, it was a really good joke.
Anyway. I'm just gonna keep talking about how good Toy Story is until we change the subject.
Yeah.
So change the subject.
Listen. Toy Story, 10 out of 10. Okay, go on.
Okay. Not another thing. Next movie.
This is the last movie, actually.
The last movie we're gonna talk about. Recently, they remade an 80s movie classic, RoboCop, and I was thinking, I'm probably gonna rent RoboCop and watch it. But I haven't watched RoboCop, the original from 1987, in a very long time. And I also watched the TV edit, probably.
Right.
In a motel or something.
Right.
So, I noticed, we have a Blu-ray copy of RoboCop, the old RoboCop, to rent. So I rented it.
And he plugged that shit in, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah, Phil thought it was about a robot who was also a cop.
Listen. That's kind of how you sold it to me.
But I wanted to... That's, kind of what he is.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm just like, whatever, it's cheesy as fuck. And then that scene comes in where they're just, introducing RoboCop, and he's a little, tripod ATST-looking motherfucker.
You talking about Ed 209?
Talking about the one they called RoboCop at the very beginning of the movie that was like a little droid.
Yeah, that's Ed 209.
Okay, yeah.
The one that just...
They did call him RoboCop.
Yeah.
Because he was an actual robot cop.
And then they turned him on and he murdered somebody.
They were just like... he said, hey, check out this. You there, pick up that gun. And then, RoboCop
I know we're in a board meeting, but have this loaded gun.
Yeah. and then
Aim it at a robot.
Yeah, and then he said, so he said, the robot's like, I am giving you 15 seconds to put your gun down. Put it down now. And so he said, I think you better do what he says, Jim. Bored, meaning laugh, whatever.
Yeah.
Puts it down. You have 3 seconds to comply.
He's like, I put it down.
Yeah, and then boom, 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 and it keeps on going. I looked up, a little bit to see gunshots. Pieces of this man were flying across the office.
Getting a little loud there, Phil.
Sorry.
Peeking out.
Listen, it doesn't matter. The emphasis needed to be there.
It's also 3 a.m., so let's just dial it down a little bit.
We are in an apartment complex. I have forgotten that.
Yeah, there's 2 apartments over there. Well, there's nobody behind us.
Listen, guys.
Somebody below us.
Listen, guys.
Nice lady who lives under us is going to be sad.
Listen.
RoboCop.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just saw chunks of this man just flying away at this, just from his face, from his chest, from his hands and feet and
this
stuff.
This movie's a hard R.
I looked up and I saw something that I could not believe. My eyes was just so... It looked sickeningly realistic.
Yeah, I love it.
Because the practical effects that people use for gore and stuff, I don't know if they do that anymore. It's mostly CG, so it doesn't look as real. But I mean, because all this stuff was done with whatever, it looked so much more realistic than I'm used to. And let me tell you guys something. I'm familiar with a lot of bloody movies and stuff.
And just a lot of blood.
In general.
Phil has a lot of blood that he keeps around him.
Yes, in my veins at all times.
And in little bags.
Nope.
Freezer
I am hemophobic, ladies and gentlemen. IRL, I cannot stand the sight of blood.
Let me just cut my hand open real quick. I'm just gonna.
It's too red. It is too. Listen,
slicing it open.
There's nothing quite as red
as that. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding. It's everywhere, Phil. I'm gonna rub it all over you. That's called acting.
Want to hear my review?
That's called acting.
Okay.
RoboCop.
So when I saw that, I was just kind of I was shocked. It looked gross. Gore is not my if it looks too realistic, I easily get nauseous. I was just like, why is this going on, man? And he was dead. They're like, let's get a paramedic in here. He's just, nope.
Dude, no.
Nope.
That many bullets, that many times with that much blood and flesh flying up.
Yeah.
There's no point. He's dead.
Yeah, he's totally dead. And I guess they just said paramedic because, I mean, if they didn't ask, it'd just be like, it's hopeless. But, I mean, it was hopeless. But anyway, that movie started getting kind of... Well, I mean, I liked the fact that, he started off with the programming not to kill anyone. So he kept on doing that, and then he got like a little bit of his human side back. So I guess he killed like one person. Or was it? It was a couple, maybe 3 people.
Yeah.
Out of like his anger, because those are the people who killed him in his human form. And then he like makes the resolve by the end of the movie to not like the last person. No, actually, the last person they totally kill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Never mind. It seemed before the very end of the movie that he stopped killing, not because it was his programming not to anymore, but because he was starting to get back, his humanity. Before it was the aggression side, and then it became like a moral aspect or whatever. I thought that was interesting, but then at the end of the movie, they totally just killed that guy.
RoboCop starts as a robot cop. He has programming. He is doing the things that he has been meant to do, but then. Oh, it's the first time they ever put a human brain inside a robot. Guess what? Human brains are human brains. And Murphy slowly realizes that he's not just robot cop. He's also a robot man cop who has a man brain in his robot brain
and he
body.
Doesn't remember exactly everything that happened in his previous life. But they kind of set it up to a point where he at least cares about his previous life because of his human side.
He misses his family. That's the thing.
He doesn't miss them. He's very curious about them.
Where are they at?
Yeah,
I know they're supposed to be there.
Right. He doesn't have any of his previous memories or whatever, but he's very curious about where his origins came from. They set themselves up for at least a very promising sequel. I haven't seen it.
I've heard that the sequels just go downhill after the first one.
I don't doubt it.
But I'm okay watching the first RoboCop just by itself.
Right. Had a very good ending that kind of made me curious to see where it was going. But I mean, the thing about good movies is they always make you curious about what happens next, and they always make you want more. So it's better to have a movie like that than get the sequels and then not, and just be like, nope, no thank you, I've had my fill. Yeah.
But RoboCop was good. I enjoyed it. I'm interested now that I've refreshed my RoboCop knowledge to watch the new reboot RoboCop. I'm feeling it's not going to be as good because they're going to try to be too I don't know what word I was trying to think of.
Political?
Probably politics is going to be a thing about like, oh, police, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about that.
I don't know what they're going to talk about.
I want to see a robot cop taking vengeance on being turned into a robot cop.
Yeah. There you go. There you have it.
All right. So that's the last movie. I just Porky Pigged right there for a second. But I was thinking about RoboCop. He's got his prime directives. Those are the programming rules that he cannot break.
Correct.
RoboCop's prime directives are serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law. That's what he has to do. He has to do those things. He has to protect people. He has to serve humanity. He's got to uphold those laws. And I was thinking, Phil, not necessarily if you came back as a robot cop, but you came back as a robot.
Right.
And they wrote you got to pick your 3 prime directives.
I got to pick my 3 prime directives.
Like you're like, I'm about to go under the knife and get turned into a robot Phil. Here, I just wrote on this sticky note right here.
I give myself prime directives just before my death.
This sticky note, just read these, type those into the computer. I want those to be the rules that I cannot break as a robot person.
All right.
What are they?
All right. Let's do the little take turns thing so that we can get our answers instead of like being put, on the what's the word I'm looking for? Put under pressure. The first one is serve the public trust. Yeah.
You're not, but you're. Those
no,
are for,
I know. I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
Say,
I wanna make. I know.
Yeah.
Listen. Like if I wanted myself to come back as a robot or something, I wouldn't want myself to be a dick. Like I want myself to have some moral compass, and if I'm going to have a moral compass, I want to have, at least my rules to cover that. Maybe throw in something quirky about my personality that my robot self counterpart will be able to also have. I want to make sure that I am not a jerk to everyone I meet.
Mm-hmm.
Serve the public trust. I guess that means kind of. I don't know what that means actually. Whatever. Be nice to people.
Yeah.
Don't call somebody out on. Make sure you are well versed in your manners, and you act accordingly. Be kind to people so that they don't know that you're just a heartless robot. They might be your friend or something. Friendship, be kind to people, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
I was gonna say my first prime directive would just simply be don't be a dick.
Yeah, same.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
If you're about to do something that would be a thing that a dick would do, don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I'm gonna cut in line because I'm more important than these people who've been patiently
Read
waiting.
up on your manners, stay well versed, and I know you got a database of that kind of thing.
So then I'm in this line. I'm like, man, I've only got 3 things, and I don't have time for this. And I'll try to skirt around people to cut, and I'll be like, oh, prime directive number 1: don't be a dick.
Oh shit!
I'm not gonna be a dick.
I gotta stay.
I'll just be patient and wait kindly.
Gonna talk in a movie theater?
No. Don't be a dick.
Unless you got friends next to you,
and then
when it say kaboom kaboosh in a Godzilla theater,
you accept that's what's gonna happen.
Right. So if somebody's
trying to be bitter, we're not bitter.
So if somebody tries to be a dick in the front of the
don't
line,
be a dick.
Turns around and says, "Hey guys, would you mind?" Little threatening gesture and maybe a flip off or 2.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Well,
don't be a dick.
My robot will tell that person in the hat and the glasses and the and the facial hair, don't be a dick. Shut up and enjoy the movie, and let me scream.
I just feel like
I want.
this guy's gonna keep coming up probably, and he's gonna be like the nemesis of the Chatmen.
Yeah.
Hey guy, don't be a dick.
There you go.
All right, so Phil, Prime Directive number 2.
Brutally murder anybody who decides to be a dick. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
Nope, I'm just kidding. If the first one is, since I, being a dick, that's kind of, I get the feeling that my robot counterpart might not be able to understand that sort of directive. If I, stick the first one to be friendly and kind to everyone you meet, and the second one follow up with refrain from being violent towards anybody.
Yeah.
You're covered in armor. You don't need to, throw your weight around and, be violent. You don't need to act violently towards any individuals. You can be passive when you protect the individuals that you care about. You can just grab them and run. Yeah. You can do whatever you want. Like, you can. Okay, let me be more specific here. Say somebody and I don't think this is ever going to happen because I'm just a normal guy. I'm not a police man or anything. But I mean, say somebody's breaks into your house. They got a got or something. Got somebody you care about there with them. I'm just like, I'm going to kill this person. I get the feeling my robot self would be able to very easily, automatically take out a couple of his kneecaps or feet, or his hand, for example, without killing the man. Because I'm just, in real life, let's get real heavy with my actual morals here. I'm extremely pacifistic. I do not think violence or at least killing is the answer for any problems. Unless, of course, you're protecting another life that is less, whatever. If that guy's threatening other people, then, I mean, you gotta do what's, the lesser of two evils there, letting the good one, whatever. Anyway, do whatever you can to preserve as many lives as possible. To make sure that at least the majority of the better people, the people who are not killing other people, survive. But don't go out of your way to kill anybody or kill yourself.
It's good.
Yeah.
Phil, you're getting a little deeper than I was planning to get with these.
Listen, these you told me what...
I just said you are a robot. That was the...
What are your 3 prime directives? If I'm gonna fucking, direct myself, I don't want to be a dick or a murderer.
Yeah, but you're not as a robot, you a superhero where you're saving people? How many situations are going to be where you're going to have to save people from the people who are killing people?
If I am in that situations, I want to make sure I make the right choice.
Okay. My prime directive
3-1 will be more lighthearted, I promise.
My prime directive number 2 is going to be Pepsi, please. Ask for Pepsi. That's what would you like to drink? Can I have a Pepsi, please?
What if that interferes with your first prime directive and you end up?
Because you ask for Pepsi, they say no, then just kind of go.
That's a dick move, bro.
Stop being a dick. That's accepting the situation and moving forward, and then buy a Pepsi later.
Oh, even if you make
I wouldn't just stare down a waitress and go. No, I'd just be
well, I suppose I will be on my way then.
Oh my goodness, we're loud.
Sorry.
I'd just be like, okay, well, I'll get a Pepsi later. Pepsi, please. That's number 2. I'd sponsor.
just scuffle on.
I'd be the Pepsi man.
And then just leave. But anyway,
Pepsi, please. That was number 2.
Yeah. So, let me see. Number 3. Mine will be make sure you behave as strangely and as animalistic as possible, for no reason. Just anytime you get the I want to keep my Phyllis charm alive in this robot. And you know how sometimes I scurry around on, this isn't common thing, but I mean, in parties and stuff, I am well known for my gorilla walk, in which I put my fists on the floor and I swing my legs underneath me and then use them as little propulsion system, like a running dog, only in slow motion. You know how gorillas walk, whatever. Anyway, they carry their feet underneath their arms that are planted firmly on the ground, and I like doing that. And also, when I eat food, sometimes I like to like grab them with both of my, like if I'm eating a cracker, for example, I like using my index fingers and thumbs and pinching the corners of it while I nibble very, very contently on the edge of the cracker on the opposite side. Now, as far as my sense of humor goes, I feel like mispronunciation of words and behaving like an animal, they're pretty much, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole bit right there. And intentionally acting as naive and childish as possible because it's fun to do. And, you know, other people might enjoy that kind of lightheartedness. Others just think it's downright annoying. And that's fine. I don't care. That's just part of what I like to do. So, you know, if I could get, you know, my robot self to behave like that, I feel like Truman could be that best friend, the robot's best friend still.
Yeah.
Because that's just part of who I am. So so I would say, you know, rule number 3, you got to keep your charm, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you you get a fair bit of eating like an animal, and you know, this is some sub-directives. You know,
sub-directive.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. So like in this third prime directive, you like, you know, if things seem gloomy, eat like an animal, or you know, behave as though you are not a human being, but a another species of smaller mammal or an ape of some sort.
Yeah.
You know, lesser mammal than that, perhaps. And you know, other thing, behave intentionally ignorant.
Yeah.
Just for grins. If people seem like they are, well, okay, that one's the opposite. People have to be in a good mood if you want to be ignorant, just for laughs. Because if people are in a very dead serious mood, the last thing you want is, hey, what's up? You say something in the wrong pronunciation just for whatever reason. You know, no, do that one when people are in good moods.
Yeah.
Do the animalish things when people are in bad moods, or just, you know, nonchalant moods, actually. And then the third one, I forgot. But there you have it.
Okay. My prime directive number 3 is puns are fun.
All right.
When the situation is appropriate, make a pun. If you gotta force a pun, force that pun.
You have a fucking thesaurus.
You just smash those words until it's a pun. You force those puns. When the situation arises, like you don't want to be at a funeral.
That's when you act like an animal. That's when you crawl around the gravestones.
Because that goes against the first prime directive of don't be a dick.
Well, you're not being a dick if you're just being lighthearted and
If I'm yelling out puns during a eulogy, that's being a dick. Don't be a dick. See, you can't break your prime directives. So back to the Pepsi thing. If they had Coke, then I can't be a dick. So don't be a dick as a prime directive.
Okay. So they always go in order from the first one.
They just can't conflict with each other. I guess like, the first one is the most important.
Right, and then it descends. Yeah. Like, you know, like in Isaac Asimov's 3 Laws of Robotics, it's like if it doesn't conflict with the first law, do this. If it doesn't conflict with the second and third,
Don't be a dick. It's the umbrella one.
Second and first, I mean. But yeah.
Umbrella. Pepsi, please. Puns are fun. That's it.
I think my first one would be don't murder. My second one would be don't be a dick. And then my third one would be...
I think people who murder people are pretty much dicks.
Yeah, so you can...
Don't be a dick.
You can attack some dicks.
If I was like, oh man, I'm about to...
If that dick is about to hurt another not dick, if you need to go out of your way to be a dick to this person, to get him to stop being a dick, you can do that as long as you don't use violence. But if they're trying to kill another person, that's when you use violence, but don't kill that person. Yeah. So, I mean, like, there's just, like, a ladder system. It's like, how bad is that person going to try to be? And you got to be one step below them just to make sure you maintain this well-being of the people around you. Yeah. But don't kill anyone.
Don't be a dick. All right. Well, here's the thing, Phil.
You have it.
RoboCop had a secret 4th classified directive.
And I know what we're going to do for this one, you know? I'm going to give you yours.
Yeah.
That will ruin your day, and you will give me mine. That's gonna ruin mine.
Yeah.
My
See,
Prime Directive.
OCP, who paid, they're the big corporation who paid to build RoboCop. They put in a secret directive that he can't arrest anybody who's in power of the OCP conglomerate.
So that he is just a minion under their control all the time.
So secret plot twist, he can't uphold the law.
So here's the thing.
So
do you want to give me my 4th Prime Directive first, or you want me to give you your 4th Prime Directive first?
You can give me mine. I'm still thinking about yours.
I'm still thinking about yours.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We'll just put some jaunty music in here. Well, actually, it's probably going to be... I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, figure something out.
I'm just like, what could hurt Phil the most?
Well, while we're rambling like this, we could put some tunes over us thinking like this, like some Blues Clues TikTok music.
Yeah, Blues Clues TikTok music. I got Phil's.
What is it?
Don't you wash that face.
Oh, you shit, bitch.
Can't wash... Your robot can't wash that face.
Oh my gosh.
Don't you wash that face.
Maybe if I have the metal covering my face, it wouldn't matter as much. Would it still get like some oily skin as a robot? I don't know.
Murphy had skin.
Yeah, but would it be oily?
I don't...
Perhaps.
I would assume that
he's eating baby food all
Murphy
the time.
ate actual food, so his body is actually processing actual food.
But he ate baby food because
Yeah,
his digestive system is all fucked up.
You can't wash that face.
Oh my god.
Don't wash that face.
Listen, I forgot to add cleanliness and all my OCD habits to my robot, but I guess it wouldn't really matter because that's all he has to live for. It's not actually me.
Yeah.
But it'd just be a guy who's curious about my lifestyle. Goodness gracious me.
So here's the scenario. Phil's gonna he's walking around being a robot.
Right.
And he's gonna he's just like, oh man, the skin. It's a
Yeah.
little greasy. And he goes in the bathroom. He's gonna washes his hands. Then he gets that wash rag or whatever Phil's method of washing his faces, and he gets it to his hands, and then his arms start to shake.
And then I see on my screen, 4th
secret directive.
Yeah,
Directive 4
blocking you. Yeah,
it just says don't wash that face, and there's gonna be a little Nedry from Jurassic Park. Only it's gonna be me, and it's gonna be like, don't you wash that face. And Phil's just gonna cry.
Please, God damn it! I hate the second crap. I need to calm my voice down. But anyway. 4th Prime Directive for Truman. No more movies.
I'll just watch sitcoms then, I guess.
Okay. I could have changed it to no more visual sources of media altogether.
That would be horrible, but I would just kill myself if that was...
You wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You just sit down, 4th Prime Directive. You have to read books, Truman.
That's still a visual...
Screen stuff, you know.
No screen stuff.
No, you can't be looking at a screen.
What if I look at a mirror at a screen?
I see no problem with that.
I'll just watch it.
You could fool your Prime Directive that way. You could get the...
And then in that way,
Phil try to watch One Piece in subtitles, and you have to develop the skill of reading backwards and understanding that everything is actually backwards.
And then, Phil, you could just, fill the bathtub full of water and sprinkle marbles all over the bathroom floor. Just happen to fall in the water face first.
4th Prime Directive doesn't allow you to do piddly shit like that. They're just like, I know what you're doing. Actually, I don't even know how that works.
No, because RoboCop had a conscious effort, I'm going to arrest you. And as soon as he went to put the cuffs on him, and he was just like, ah.
Right. I get the feeling once I, go into the fridge to, get some ice-cold marbles, it'd be like, nope.
Why do you need ice-cold marbles?
I don't know.
Normal marbles will trip you up just fine.
I got the...
It's so cold.
You know what? I don't know why I thought of ice-cold marbles. I think
I
was just slippery ice, and then I was like, that would help. And then
you're just gonna have to wash your single mustache.
As soon as I got the marbles out, I bet they'd be like, we know what you're doing. Put those marbles down. I'd just have no choice but to neatly put them down where I want to slip.
Jesus! I just checked how long this episode is. Let's wrap this stuff up.
We're done.
Yeah.
We said everything we need to.
So guys, you're on YouTube already. You should just subscribe or like.
I think I like this episode.
Make a comment. That's probably gonna be pretty good.
I'll go ahead and click a like button.
Rate this episode, Phil. We haven't even listened to it again. Rate it.
I'm gonna give it a good old-fashioned 5 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
You know what? before you give it that 4, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 3.
I'll give it a 2.
Yeah, I'll give it a 1.
No stars.
Blast off.
All right. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. All those links are in the description of the video.
If you want to send us a movie review for us to read,
crap. This episode has been brought to you by our sponsor, Forgetting the Sponsor. We forgot to have a sponsor this episode.
Oh my god,
So
I think I said I was drinking water.
We're sponsored by Forgetfulness, by Alzheimer's.
That's very good. If you have a movie review, I did that again.
Yeah.
Why don't you just send it an email, Gmail, chatmenshow@gmail.com. And if you want to review Food Fight for us, Hayden, like you said you would,
Yeah.
why don't you just go ahead and get on that so we can have some source or some material for our next episode in which we will be reading...
It's gonna tantalizing them with a little surprise. It's gonna be good. It's probably my favorite kind of episode we're doing next.
Yeah, so...
next week or 2 weeks, you should check that one out. And if you want to just be notified as soon as that video's out, just subscribe.
Oh, why don't you just like a Facebook page, chatbook, Chatmen page, the Chatmen, that page, the one that me and Truman are a member of.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Bye.
Bye.